So a bunch of the Yankees are going to be free agents at the end of the season. Who's going to stay and who's going to go? Let's talk about it now. All right, guys, free agency is right around the corner. 5 days after the World Series ends, free agency begins. So it's going to be right around the corner. The Yankees have a bunch of guys who are going to be free agents. So I want to go over this list and give you my take on who I think is going to stay and who I think is going to go. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean I think it should be this way. This is what I think is likely going to happen. And again, you give me your thoughts along the way in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are too. Who should go? Who should stay? Who will go? Who will stay? Because I think they're not going to always jive with each other, right? And that's okay. That's what the offseason is all about. Okay. And again, if you're a baseball fan, first time here, welcome. If you're a Yankee fan, just make sure if you enjoy this content, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss anything. Okay. Now let's get right into this. Okay. Question of the day is who stays, who goes? Okay. There's 11 guys, 11, the big 1-1 that are going to be free agents this year. Who's going to stay and who's going to go? First slide up, Paul Blackburn. Okay, I think he did pretty well with the Yankees, but I think he does go. I think the Yankees can replace him in free agency or by calling up one of the other players. Jonathan Loaisiga has a $5 million option, a team option for 2026. I don't think it's going to be exercised. I think they can replace him with somebody like Jake Bird, who they acquired from the Rockies last year. So I think they're going to add some more relievers as well. However, Tim Hill, I think, has done enough to justify Yankees bringing him back. He's got a team option as well for $3 million for 2026. And he's been one of the more reliable left-handed relievers. Now, do I think he should be the number one guy that the Yankees should go to on the left-hand side? No, I think the Yankees need to add a left-handed pitcher beyond Tim Hill to kind of supply the left-handed side with some more hard-throwing relievers. And the Yankees do like hard-throwing relievers, right? They do like guys that throw strikes. So my guess they're going to go after one of these guys either in the trade market or in free agency. Okay, that's one. Now, the next batch of athletes here. Trent Grisham, I think he's gone. Ryan Yarbrough is gone. And Austin Slater, gone. Trent Grisham, I think, has done enough to justify getting a qualifying offer. I think he will get a qualifying offer. I think he'll turn it down, and I think he'll sign up somewhere else as a free agent, probably in a 4 or 5 year deal, okay, which will be a lot more. I don't think he's going to leave 40, 50, 60 million dollars on the table. He's done enough, and this is a career year, so he's going to cash in on a career year, I think. Now, he hasn't had years like this before, no, but this is what happens when you have a career year. You want to cash in at the right time. He's an elite glove. He plays great defense in the outfield as a center fielder, and he can be a starter for a lot of teams. Okay, there are teams that have players, and we talked about this yesterday, that have players with options that might not be exercised, that guys can be replaced for Trent Grisham. And he can come in and join a playoff contender, like the Cincinnati Reds possibly, and play for Tito Francona. Just a thought, right? But I do think he'll be gone. I think the Yankees will give him a QO, and he'll turn it down. The QO is $22 million this year, okay? And I think he'll parlay it, and the Yankees will get some compensation in return. Ryan Yarbrough, he's been solid for the Yankees too, but I do think the Yankees are going to go after somebody else on the left-handed side to complement Tim Hill. I think he's going to be gone too. Austin Slater, he's a good outie bat, a good righty bat who hits lefties well. But he hasn't got enough sample size here. I think the Yankees are going to go after somebody else. So I think he's gone. Okay, next up, Ahmed Rosario. I think the Yankees are going to bring him back. And what I would personally do is I would take that $5 million that was allocated for Jonathan Loaisiga in the 2026 option. See if I can get Ahmed Rosario to come back for that money. I would just reallocate that money, try to get Ahmed Rosario. I love the fact that he not only hits lefties well on the righty side, but if you look at his energy, okay, he adds chemistry to the team. He adds energy to the team. He's always at the top of the dugout, even when he's not playing, to support his teammates. And that's the type of player I really, really want here. Okay, and he hustles. He's aggressive on the base paths. He's aggressive at the plate. So he's the type of player that kind of, to me, emulates what the Yankees should be playing, like hungry, right? Aggressive all the time. Okay. And speaking of the next guy, Luke Weaver, I think he's going to go. Okay? I like Luke Weaver, right? But again, I think the Yankees are going to pivot and try to get somebody else here. Okay. Try to get somebody else here to replace. I think they're going to see. We're probably going to see with the exception of Jake Bird, who's already here. I think we'll see 2 or 3 new faces in the bullpen this year. Most likely, a lot are going to be traded. We'll find out too. There are a couple closers, and I talked about this too. There's an option that if they are an exerciser, if they opt out to become free agents, that can really, really boost the bullpen. And I want to wait until that happens to get my full free agent predictions so that we have a better idea of who actually is going to be the free agents and who's not going to be free agents. So, and lastly, my last batch of guys here, Cody Bellinger. I think he goes. Now, do I think he should go? Not necessarily. But I do think the Yankees are going to invest heavily and try to pursue Kyle Tucker here. Okay. Would I prefer Cody Bellinger? Probably. He's got familiarity here. Okay. He's played well here. And, I mean, I would be fine with Cody Bellinger and Trent Grisham coming back here, which would also, in my opinion, mean they would probably trade Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez at that point. But one of them, I think both of them possibly can go. Again, would I like one of them to come back? Yes. If I had to choose between the two, it would be Bellinger. But at this point, I think he goes because I think the Yankees are probably going to use the metrics here and say that Kyle Tucker has a better strikeout to walk ratio than Bellinger does, because he does. The metrics favor him on a lot of fronts, and he's a more patient hitter at the plate. Okay. And that's historically speaking as well. And he's the type of guy that the Yankees probably want hitting in front of Aaron Judge or behind Aaron Judge. Another kind of guy with a quote-unquote star pedigree. Okay? But if Cody Bellinger came back, I'd be happy with that too. Paul Goldschmidt, I do think he goes. I think he's going to go back to St. Louis or Arizona to kind of finish it off and retire then. And I think Ben Rice is going to take over at first base. Okay, I do not think Ben Rice is going to become the starting catcher. I do not. I think he'll become the starting first baseman. If the Yankees want to add a catcher to compete with Austin Wells, they could do that, or they can trade for him. They can. JT Realmuto's a free agent. You have Ivan Herrera from the Cardinals, the Cardinals are looking to move one of their catchers or 2 of their catchers. They're super deep. He also hits on the righty side, as does JT. So either one of those guys, I think, would be good to bring in here to compete with Austin Wells. And I would probably just give you JC Escar an opportunity to play elsewhere. I like JC Escar, but at this point, we need to fortify as many spots as possible, and the backup catcher goes to the bench. So whether that's Austin Wells or JT Realmuto, I'm fine with that on the bench. Whether it's Austin Wells or Ivan Herrera, I'm fine with that on the bench too. Okay? So, and then lastly, Devin Williams. I do think the Yankees should consider bringing him back if he's willing to pitch in the 7th and 8th inning and let David Bednar be the closer. But I have a feeling he's going to get a multi-year deal somewhere probably on the West Coast. And at this point, I wish he would have kind of discovered his groove earlier in the season. I don't think it was enough time to do that to really give them an opportunity to want to bring him back. So for those reasons, I think that's probably going to be why Devin Williams is going to be back. And if you look at this list, I have 2 coming back and 9 leaving. It's kind of crazy. But like I said, I don't think this necessarily think it should be this way. I think it will be this way. So again, give me your take. Who do you think? Okay, I have all these guys. Okay, and keep in mind, I'm going to do my blueprint for the Yankees offseason. My next stage of that, how to put the Yankees back in the World Series in 2026 and moving forward. I'm going to be doing that in the near future too. So get ready, buckle up. This I had to get out to you because this is going to be the most immediate thing that happens after the World Series. Okay, the trade market happens 5 days after the World Series. So does free agency. So right out of the gate, things can start happening. So stay tuned. Have a great day, everybody, and let's go Yankees.